first and foremost, allegedly, there was a man, apparently, not allegedly, apparently there is a man in Pittsburgh, and we got a theme going on today. The name of the show called She's Lying, and we're going to get to the lying part soon. But apparently, there was a man in Pittsburgh who decided that he wanted to go all out. He said, I'm tired of it. I'm frustrated. I'm not going to get evicted from not paying my rent. And we're going to have it out today. I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. You guys did bring this to my attention, so thank you. But 75 officers have been suspended, is placed on leave. So let's mine out this subject and let's go into it. Again, make sure y'all hit a like. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. Let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen.
The tactical team exhausted every resource available, from communication to playing family messages. The gunfire, the exchange of gunfire was there. There was thousands of gunfire.
Thousands of rounds of gunfire, a city neighborhood riddled with bullets. Tonight, a lot of questions remain. One day after that shootout in Garfield, we can tell you that dozens of officers who were involved are now off the street. They include 47 City of Pittsburgh officers, 12 Allegheny County police officers, and 16 Allegheny County Sheriff's deputies. Police say those officers will be evaluated after their involvement in that highly charged situation yesterday. They'll likely be off the streets for several days. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Ken Rice.
And I'm Christine Sorensen. The gunfire on Broad Street has long since ended, but the disbelief coming from neighbors is loud and clear. Erica Moke spoke to those neighbors and got an up-close look at that damage. Erica.
Christine and Ken, yesterday we were telling you just the amount of gunfire that was exchanged yesterday, and you were able to see in that video the damage left behind at that row house, showing you just how intense this standoff was. You can see behind me that home has since been boarded up, but right now on this street you can see neighbors are out and about. They are alongside city leaders assessing the damage from those bullets, like what you can see right here on this house, evidence of bullets whizzing by. Neighbors tell me yesterday they felt like they were in the middle of a war zone brought on by a man that they barely knew.
So let me start here. All right. Let me start here because this is a tale of two positions. Let me go ahead and break down the story and give a little bit more context. I got something up here on my end. It says the suspect, William Hardison Sr., which means that it has to be a junior somewhere in there. William Hardison Sr. shot at deputies trying to serve an eviction notice, resulting in a standoff that lasted 6.5 hours. Let me say that again. Deputies were trying to serve an eviction notice, meaning he had been living in a house that he had no longer been paying rent in. Okay? Whether he could afford it, whether he just had a dispute with the landlord, we don't know. But absolutely serve an eviction notice. They was there to serve an eviction notice, and he said, I'm not going. I'm not going nowhere. And then he fired at deputies and police officers, which then resulted in a 6.5 hour standoff. After the hours-long standoff with the man who shot at sheriff's deputies when they went to serve the eviction notice, they said that the neighborhood turned violent when the man turned violent and began shooting. The suspect was found dead inside the residence after gunfire was exchanged intermittently for roughly 6.5 hours. Let's continue on.
Good morning, sir. How's your day? And then he was telling me that they're going to pay for this. I'm like, ooh, I said, be on the street. It's cool. He said, you'll see.
He had already made up in his mind how he was going to deal with the deputies when they came over and then served the eviction notice. The witness, the man here, the man that lived on the streets with him, said, listen, he told the man, he said, good morning. They gonna get theirs today. And then this man said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, you'll see. You'll see." Pittsburgh is one of my favorite cities. Pittsburgh is one of my favorite cities in the United States of America. It is a hidden gem that I think that many people need to explore and discover in order to see how awesome that city really is. A lot of people in the chat said, "I live here in Pittsburgh." He was a Moor. What does that mean? What is a Moor? What does a Moor have to do with him deciding that he didn't want to leave when he was being legally served an eviction notice? You are right, Persevere Data TV, and I'm going to read that super chat shortly. He said that he was ready to crash out.
And he walked away.
That man, who lives just a few doors down, says he had no idea that just days after that conversation with William Hardison, he'd turned what's been described as a normal, quiet neighborhood into a nightmare.
I couldn't even count. It had to be over 2,000 rounds coming and going. Please him, please him. They were so loud, you would have thought it was a bomb.
I'm surprised that nobody else got hurt. I'm very, very surprised that nobody got hurt. They say that it was thousands of rounds and thousands of rounds back and forth being shot between him and... Shout out to Siri. Thousands of rounds being shot back and forth between him and the police, and they were going back and forth. And instead of him being able to accept the eviction notice, he said, "I'm about to crash out and I'm going to take everybody with me." Y'all do know that police officers are humans too, right? Police officers are humans too. They have families. They have people that depend on them. They have children, wives. The women have husbands. Police officers have a job to do, but at the same time, y'all do understand that they people and they go home and they pray for a safe return every single day. Just like you and me. Every day that I get in the car and I drive and I come down to the office and I'm going through the streets, and even though I do all of the things that I can in order to protect myself, which may include carrying and security and all of this other type of stuff, right? They are people too.
City officials and police giving an update today on the response, saying their attempts to make contact with Hardison and bring the situation to a peaceful end were met either by silence or that barrage of bullets.
The gunfire, the exchange of gunfire was there. There was thousands of gunfire. I just couldn't tell you the number.
The exact amount of shots, ammunition, even weapons used by the suspect is still under investigation by state police. And although neighbors say they had no idea what kind of stockpile Hardison may have been sitting on, one says she did see him with a gun case, which she says contained more than one rifle.
Because it was heavy. He was struggling from across the street to his house to get it into his house.
His house, the one he refused to leave, now left battered from a gun battle, as are the homes nearby, including the one that shares a wall with the now crime scene.
Elisa Little says, irresponsible coverage of this. In what way? Help me to understand it, Elisa.
Our camera was invited inside, capturing several bullet holes in that shared wall, one big enough to see right through.
It was a dramatic scene. I didn't never think it would have got to this point.
Now, it is still not known where the shot that killed the suspect came from. Again, that's still under investigation. The neighbor who lives immediately next door didn't want to go on camera. She said that there are at least 4 bullet holes in her wall, and any of them could have killed her. Thankfully, though, she evacuated, and she and her pets are okay.
I see people in the chat saying irresponsible police officers, completely unnecessary. According to the news reports, they said he had ammunition. He had a lot of ammunition in that house, and we're calling for additional ammunition. It's unclear how many bullets were fired as numerous local and federal agencies responded to the scene. Pittsburgh Public Safety Director Lee said in a news release that he would ensure employees and community members are afforded all the services they need to help process what they have witnessed. Our public safety personnel, a family, a community of Garfield, and indeed the entire city of Pittsburgh suffered a collective trauma today in experiencing this unfortunate event, Schmidt said. Now, here's my question. How do y'all justify, and I can't wait for y'all to be able to come up on the panel today. How do y'all justify when deputies go to serve an eviction notice and he just start firing at the police? How does this then becomes the police fault when he starts shooting and firing at the police when he was staying in a place where he wasn't supposed to be in the first place? So he initiated the contact, right? He initiated the rounds and he had thousands of rounds of ammunition. And so they exhausted every available option in the standoff for 6.5 hours. He wasn't coming out. He fully strapped. He got a whole lot of guns and a whole lot of ammunition. And you sitting here telling me that it's somehow, some way the police's responsibility or irresponsibility that's supposed to operate. This is why we so messed up as a society today. I'm trying to stop cursing. I'm genuinely trying to stop cursing. But let me be very, very clear. Y'all want it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Either you're going to operate in a society that's civil, in which you do what you're supposed to do, or you got to face the consequences that come along with it, or you're going to let all of the criminals run the asylum and then you're going to blame everything on the police. And then when the police say, okay, well, we're not going to do nothing and we're going to let y'all police yourselves, you're going to sit here and you're going to complain about everybody running in your stores, running out all of the grocery stores, stealing everything, running up at 7-Eleven and just taking everything. Nobody's going to show up to your aid, and then you're going to be complaining the other way. Which one you want? Do you want the police to do what they supposed to do and address a security concern or get civility back into your society? Or do you want to operate in a lawless society where all criminals is doing whatever it is that they want to do? Which one you want? You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Which one do you want? Do you want them to make sure that your community is safe because nobody else died? I know that there's always going to be, quote unquote, devil's advocates that's always against doing the right thing. But which one do you want? Do you want to be able to operate in a space where they completely running out all of the businesses and the criminals is taking it over and everything is completely running amok in chaos like it is over in California, Sacramento, Oakland, and all of these other states, south side of Chicago? Now people can't, is hostages in their own home and they can't even walk outside. Your kids has got bullets all over the ground. Nobody can do anything and everything is just completely in chaos. Or you want to operate in a society where we gonna get some civility in this bitch and you're not gonna be doing what you want to do when you want to do it. Which one you want? Because you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. We know that y'all going to be operating in chaos no matter what. You going to be complaining about something no matter what. If the police come in and they stop the criminals and nobody else get hurt as a result of it, and they offer you an opportunity to be able to solve for the problem on the back end of it, you're going to complain about it no matter what. He can fire thousands of rounds at the police officers, and we sitting here justifying the actions that he wasn't even supposed to be in a place in the first place. And you're going to sit here and have a conversation talking about it's the police's fault. Which one you want? Either you want the criminals to run amok or you want to get some civility in this bitch. What you want? You can't have it both ways. Pick criminality or civility. Which one you want? You can't be shooting your gun at people and not expecting to get killed as a result of it. Which one you want? He wasn't worried about nobody else around him when he was firing thousands of rounds at the police officers. This is why I say you get what you vote for. You get who you are. When I see these societies and cities and y'all keep blaming it on the legislators, I don't believe it. I'm not going for it. Because all they're operating and they're building policies and they're voting and they're modifying the way that the law works based off of who you are. So when I see this shit going to shit, I don't want to see anybody complaining about it, because all y'all are is a reflection of the societies that you live in. You created this shit. You know who the criminals are inside of your own neighborhoods. When I see the black community absolutely going to trash on a regular basis, I don't feel sorry for y'all no more. I'm not coming back to save you. I live in a space where I'm a reflection of the community that I serve. When I see your community in this trash, it's because you let the drug dealers, the dope boys, the criminals, the killers, the trill rappers and all of this other type of stuff, you know who they are, and you won't even call the police on them, so you get what it is that you deserve. Don't sit here and keep whining and complaining about your criminals in your own neighborhood, and you know who they are. You probably house them. I don't feel sorry for you. What you mean? These dudes ain't come there to get in no shootout. They came there to serve an eviction notice for a person that wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. And then he started shooting. And we're going to sit here and hold the police officers accountable. 75 police officers is on leave as a result of it, pending an investigation, so we can make sure that they did what they're supposed to do. What else you want? Y'all are unreal. I can't wait to open it up so I can see how trash y'all mentality is. Because I'm clapping back today. I'm clapping back today. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Don't sit in the chat thinking that you're going to not get served today, big dog. Half-Breed Observer says, Anton, have you been called an Oreo yet or an Uncle Tom for your thinking and opinion? If so, welcome to the club. Did y'all know that Uncle Tom is actually the hero? When you see people speak out of ignorance a lot of times, when they call me that, Uncle Tom was actually the hero, but people don't even understand the story, and so they say things based off of their own ignorance. And so when you say things a lot of times, it's actually a reflection of you, not the person that you're looking to insult. Yeah, we're going to have a live today. It's going to be some talk today. And don't be afraid to come up here all of a sudden. Oh, now you want to turn now your camera don't work on your phone. Now all of a sudden your computer don't work. You watch this every single day and you be on live all the time, but all of a sudden just so happened that your camera don't work today and your audio was all messed up. You dropped your phone inside of the dishwater. You don't even do dishes. Yeah, we're going to open up the chat today. It's going to be some conversations today. It's going to be some conversations today. Get y'all neighborhoods in order. Don't expect for nobody to clean up your stuff before you do it yourself. Yeah, we going in today.